Let's go. What's happening, everybody? Make sure you hit that like button.
You're watching Blunt Politics with Boston Brian.
Yes, you are. You sure as shit are watching them Blunt Politics with them there, Boston Brian here, and we're paying some respect there to them Texas Democrats. I know that for sure. We're going to be paying some respects to them there Texas Democrats, showing them Republicans down there how it's done. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. I appreciate you joining me. It is August 5th, 2025, Tuesday to be exact. I appreciate you joining me. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Share the show. We got a lot to cover today, some of which will have to do with Texas, as you can see. I don't know how long I'll be. This thing is damn heavy. I can tell you that much. I don't know how long I'll be wearing it. I know them Cowboys got some big necks wearing these things all the time. Anyway, just a little bit of what we'll be going through today before I get into the chat and say hello to you fabulous people. Of course, we're going to be talking about Netanyahu's plans to occupy Gaza. There's going to be more here. Let me see if I can share this as I'm talking about it, let you guys know. Let's see here. So it's going to be... Wow, there's so many. It's not even picking it up. Well, anyways. Oh, here it is right here. Nope, that's Israel. That's that one. Wow, there's so many of them. Here it is. Share. So much for us to cover today. So this is just one of the things that we'll be covering today. Let's see here. Put this onto the stage here. And just so you know, I went through all the trouble of even screen recording Greg Kelly's episode from the other day, talking about how Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent and possibly a victim. And I was desperate to show that to you. And I know we were having some technical difficulties as far as Newsmax and their website was concerned. Still doesn't play for some reason on the PC. But I was able to screen record it for you guys. So I'll be playing that. I did download it as a file, so don't worry. But yes, we'll be getting into this article here about Netanyahu reported plans to occupy Gaza and move opposed by IDF brass and majority of Israelis. Not only that, but apparently Donald Trump's on the fucking roof, ladies and gentlemen. apparently Donald Trump is on the roof, just giving fucking Sig Heils. Heil Hitler's up there. I don't know what he's doing. We're taking a look at a couple clips of, I guess, him this morning up on the roof at the fucking White House. We'll be talking about this new Daily Beast article here, talking about a new Hegseth leak reveals secret plan for years of troops on U.S. streets. So that's obviously something that we're definitely going to want to take a look at because, as I said here, a reminder, fascism is a far-right authoritarian political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and regimentation of society. It typically involves a belief in a natural social hierarchy, nationalism, and militarism. So this is just one aspect, just a one aspect of the fascist takeover that the Trump administration, Pete Hegseth, the Republicans are attempting to perpetrate upon this country right now. Not only that, but I was diving deeper into this Guardian article from, I think it was 2020 that came out, Teen Models, Powerful Men, and Private Dinners, when Trump hosted Look of the Year. This talks about that yacht party that they had and just like the disgusting things that they made the young girls do there, and they'll feed them with alcohol, no chaperones there, dancing for Trump. So there's some gross stuff going on in this article. I don't know if we'll have time to get to most of it here, but at the very least, I would ask you to go take a look at it yourself and refresh your memory on just the depravities that we know about without having the Epstein files released. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can stop this for a second here. I'll bring the rest of them back in for you guys because there's a ton of stories that we'll be talking about. So that one, and then there's this Prince Andrew story here, Prince Andrew and Donald Trump story as well. Let me put this on the screen for you guys as well. Right, this is also a Daily Beast article where Prince Andrew and Donald Trump's sick women's crotch conversations are revealed. So this, again, just with every passing day, every passing moment. Thank you, Noah Dez. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you to everybody gifting. Thank you to everybody who supports the show. Like I said, multiple ways to do so. Venmo up in the corner, as you can see above me. You can become a channel member just underneath me. You can go to patreon.com/Boston Brian. We have our August Zooms coming up this month. So if you sign up for patreon.com/Boston Brian anytime before those dates, then you'll be eligible to join us in our face-to-face Zoom meeting. So thank you, Noah Dez, for kicking that off. I do appreciate it. Before we get into just some of the, this is another story too. Here's another one. Trump administration ties almost $2 billion in local disaster funds to stance on Israel boycotts. So if you don't support a genocide, you won't be getting disaster relief. I love to see how I'm gonna really relish in the fact and how MAGA is going to make this seem like it's an America First policy. I know this is going to piss some people off in the MAGA base like 100,000%. It's going to. I guess it already has, because we have a little bit of InfoWars here was already talking about the Israel trends #1 on X. Trump administration ties disaster relief to loyalty. Israel and Speaker Johnson visits Wailing Wall. This is, I think, Owen Schroyer was stepping in for Alex Jones there. So I don't know if we have time to take a look at that, but just to let you know, it is already getting to people. And then we got obviously the Texas Democratic lawmakers rallying outside of the governor's mansion to protect redistricting of maps. Greg Abbott threatening the arrest. That other mealy mouth pipsqueak threatening arrest. We'll talk about this, and we'll take a look at some of the comments from like Greg Kasar and people like that. There's a ton to get to. So let's just see here. There was also this video that I ran across. Apparently this was a couple weeks ago. Somehow I missed this one. This is Glenn Beck, the Epstein scandal, 5 theories on Trump's sudden pivot. So I don't know if that'll be worth taking a look at. Oh, there's Patrick. Let's fucking go with another 5 gifted. All right, this thing's getting too heavy. Sorry, getting too heavy. We're gonna make the switch. I hope Texas realizes I was representing as long as possible there, but my city neck ain't used to holding that thing up. But thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. So there's that to take a look at. There's a lot going on. There's a ton that we haven't even got to in the email as well. Yvonne sent me a bunch of stuff. Alyosha again with some memes. Let's see here. What else we got? Bill Burr going hard, and then obviously the Greg Kelly. Let's see here. Here's the Greg Kelly. Oh boy, there he is again. All right, so I made it work. I got it to work, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that like button, share the stream, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 13. I always say we're on our way to 15, but what do you say we try to hit 13,000 subscribers first, ladies and gentlemen? Let's not put the cart before the horse. But let's bring in the chat. Say hi to everybody. Sorry about the name change. We did put in a request or a complaint or whatever the hell you want to call it to YouTube. because of everybody's name change. I know it's tough because some names are similar, some are not even close. So, and not only that, but it's almost impossible for the mods to do modding when they have to type in 47 characters to try to add somebody. So, Tiff, how are you? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for fighting through the name changes. Patrick, how are you? Susie, Lisa, thank you, everybody on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. Of course, everybody on YouTube, I do appreciate it. Roxanne, how are you? Forever Young. What's up, Nicholas? What's up, Susie, Sandy, Triplia, how are you? What's going on? Twitch, El Rondo, Jen Up the Base, how are you guys? Moon Girl, everybody's here. I appreciate you guys coming in and day out to watch the shows. Thank you so much. Make sure you continue to support independent media, whether it be this show or others. Make sure you're finding the person that gives you the most bang for your buck, and make sure you support that channel if you're in the financial position to do so. It's Patrick's birthday. Did I miss that in the chat? Did I miss that in the statement? I did. I wasn't even paying attention. My apologies. I was just so happy to hear from you that I didn't even read it. Thanks for the birthday gift. If this shoe. Thanks for the birthday gift. If this shoe. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna say maybe it's this show. I'm gonna go with. It sounds like you've been hitting the birthday sauce a little early there, Patrick. I'm just kidding. All right, hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. We'll start getting into this news if we can, just a little bit of it. I'm going to see if we can breeze through a few of these articles here. Like I said, I don't have the Daily Beast subscription, but just the headlines alone and the titles of these articles alone, like I said, such as this one right here. I think gets the point across here. Let me see if I can add this to stage. Before presenting a screen, remove the other media. All right, so I'll remove that, and then I'll put this up there. How about that? I mean, I don't think you really need to get into the in-depth details of an article when it's titled this. I think we can pretty much make our own assumptions as to what these two sick bastards were saying or talking about without making ourselves puke on a Tuesday afternoon. So just what we can read here, it says Donald Trump allegedly handed Prince Andrew a list of masseuses after the two men engaged in a sick conversation about pussy. The interaction reportedly happened in the year 2000, not long after they had been introduced by their mutual friends Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that funny? The year 2000, right around the time that Jeffrey Epstein was stealing, as Donald Trump likes to say, young girls, underage girls from the spa at Mar-a-Lago. And then that's 2 years before that statement that Donald Trump comes out with saying, oh, he's a terrific guy. We both like beautiful women. He likes him on the younger side, still praising not only Jeffrey Epstein, but their relationship together. So the timelines in these is pretty fitting, but how disgusting. Like, this is an actual headline about the current and sitting president of the United States of America and royalty in the UK. Like, this is a real fucking headline about the sitting president of this country right now. Like, fucking unbelievable. What do you say we get into this first? Let's get into this. Even before we get into Bibi Netanyahu, I want to check this out. I want to see what the fuck Donald Trump was doing on the goddamn roof of the White House here, because I just happened to run into this just before I came on. But let's see. This is Aaron Rupar posted, "Don't jump, sir." Sorry. All right, let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Full screen. And I'll rewind it. Let me know if you guys like the new layout that we're trying. I'm trying to go bigger on the screen, instead of, taking up some of the screen with the logo. I'm just trying to, make it a full screen. Maybe you guys are able to see things a little better. But let's check this out. Donald Trump on the roof of the White House this morning doing God knows what.
On the roof of the White House, he's taking questions, or he was just a few moments ago.
He's taking questions on the roof of the White House. Wait a minute. What?
Let's listen in, please.
Looking good, Peter.
What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know if the audio's lining up right with the video, but he's clearly yelling down to reporters, and reporters are clearly yelling back up to him. And all I could hear was one lady go, "What does that mean?" What's he doing, dude? What's he doing? What are you doing, bro? Oh man, I'd hate for him to slip on some like a slippery substance. That would be awful. What the fuck is he doing? What's he doing?
We'll show you. another way to spend my money for the country. Anything I do is financed by me, so you're not worried.
Anything I do is financed by me. Maybe he's talking about, is he up there talking about maybe the construction of the ballroom? I don't fucking know.
Contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, and nobody ever mentions that.
Jesus, somebody come get Grandpa off the roof, please, before he hurts himself. What the fuck? I think there's more from this too. There's even more from this. Hold on. I think there's another one. Trump wanders around the roof of the White House shouting at reporters. Let's see if this is a different clip. Oh no, this looks like a similar clip. What's he doing there? Like, what is that motion? Is he doing like the shape of a woman?
On the roof of the White House is taking
Is that what he's doing?
questions,
What's
or
when he does
was
like
just a
this?
few moments ago. Let's listen in, please.
Is that supposed to be the shape of a woman or something like that? Or is he like imagining the construction of the Epstein ballroom? Like, what is happening? I won't subject to that same clip again, but I thought there was more maybe from this, or maybe that's all we got. Question, sir, what are you trying to build? Trump missiles, nuclear missiles. What? What is happening? What is happening? Is he finally glitching out? All right, let's see if we get any more insight into this. That's what I thought too, Terry. His ballroom maybe? But this says he's talking about missiles, nuclear missiles on top of the White House. All right, maybe this tells us. I don't know. Who's he with? Like, can we get anything from like the people he's with? I don't know. None of these people look familiar to me.
Mr. President, what do you want to build? What are you trying to build? Sir, do you approve? You say
Oh my God. And they wonder why we say we're a laughing stock on the fucking world stage now. Look at this senile son of a bitch. Holy shit. Good. Yeah, pull the ladder. Yeah, leave him up there. What the fuck? So let's play that one more time. The reporter says, what the fuck are you building? What are you doing, dude? And he says, missiles. Nuclear missiles on top of the ballroom? Is that like an added feature? Let's see here. Let's see one more time. Ready?
Mr. President, what do you want to build? What are you trying to build? Sir, do you approve? You say more missiles? Are you building missiles? What? Come on, Dad.
What? So is that a fucking Heil? That was a Heil. That was a Sig Heil, right? That was a clean looking Sig Heil, if I do say so myself. Right? Check this out.
Sir, do you approve?
Check this
You
out.
say more
Ready?
missiles? Are you building missiles? What?
I mean, has he finally lost his fucking ever-loving mind, or what is happening? Is he just like casually throwing Sig Heils while talking about installing nuclear weapons on top of the fucking new ballroom dedicated to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell he's trying to build? What is going on? What is going on here? What the fuck is going on? Did you hear the confusion in the reporter's voice? He's like, did you say building missiles? Listen to this shit. The reporter's like, what the fuck did you say?
Sir,
He says missiles.
You approve? You say more missiles? Are you building
Did you say more missiles? What are you talking about? Oh shit. What is happening in this clip?
missiles?
What is that? What is this Sig Heils? What is the fucking Sig Heils? How can we take that as anything other than Sig Heils here? One Sig Heil. He does the double dip like Elon. He double dips like Elon, just in case the first one wasn't enough. Yeah, check this out. 1, 2. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Can we catch that one more time? Just probably the first time in a long time, and hopefully the last time in forever, you'll see the president of the United States randomly and fucking blatantly double dipping on 2 Sig Heils on the roof of the fucking White House. This is wild. Check this out. One Sig Heil. Two Sig Heils.
Come on, Dad.
Might be
Did you say missiles?
Oh, you know what he's doing. You know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. Here, ready? Yeah, ready? Did you hear? It sounded like either Eric or Don Jr. Did you catch that at the end? Before I move on, before we move on here, did you catch that at the end there? Did you hear? It sounded like either Don Jr. or Eric. Listen up closely at the end there, where he's like, come on, Dad. Where he's like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Listen one more time. Listen. Listen up closely at the end. Come
on, Dad.
You see that? Come on, Dad. I can't tell if that's Eric or Don Jr. One more time. Sorry. One more time. My apologies. One more time. Ready? See if we can catch it. See in the chat. Let me know if you think it's Eric or Don Jr.
You saying more missiles? Are you building missiles? What? Come on, Dad.
Might be missiles.
Did you say missiles?
Taking over all of Gaza, sir.
All right. So, just in case you don't know what he was trying to do there, let's see here. Just in case you don't know what he was imitating there, real quick. See if I can get the accurate photo that I'm looking for that he's trying to go for. He's going for something like this, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know. This is what he's actively. How do I double click this one? Share this tab instead. Is anything going to share though? No. It's this right here on the right that he's going for. My apologies. I don't know why it's not loading right now. Hey, let me see. Share, go back to this. Visit. Let's see if I can pick another one. This one right here on the right-hand side. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but that's what he's going for right here. So something like this. Let's try this website. So something like this right here on your screen right now, folks. Where is it? Why is it not sharing this tab instead? Anyway, well, you can see what I'm talking about, but that's what he's going for. He's going for his own Hitler moment right there. You know what I mean? He's going for his own Nazi moment because he knows what it looks like, him being on the roof, looking down at people. Right? That's exactly what he was going for in this situation. Let me see here. I'm going to have to stop this again. For some reason, this goddamn screen share continues to stop in the middle of while I'm trying to do it, and I don't like it. This right here. Sorry, I'm going to put this back on the screen because I don't know if I made my point clearly enough. Right here. Right here. Just above me. You'll see. This is what Donald Trump is trying to mock. Right here. And then, obviously, these pictures here just to my left, of course, just so you know. But for some reason, it says it lost audio again with the screen share. I don't know what's going on with that. But I do want to make my point. Now, I'm going to go back to this. Share this tab instead. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Mods, let me know. It says it lost audio with the screen share, so I just want to be sure. Here. One Sig Heil, 2 Sig Heils.
Might be missiles.
Did you say missiles?
Taking over all of Gaza, sir.
Did you hear that one? Or do I have to start that over? Let me know in the chat. We can hear it. Thank you. Appreciate you, mods. Thank you, Tiff. All right, so I just wanted to be sure because that's what he's going for in this situation. He knows this is what it looks like. He knows this is what it's looked like. You know, he's up on top of some concrete, right? So let's just get that one more time. The president of the United States double dipping like Elon Musk with 2 Sig Heils, blatant Sig Heils on the roof of the White House. Here we go.
Missiles? Are you building missiles?
1 Sig Heil, 2 Sig Heils.
Come on, Dad.
Might be missiles.
Did you say missiles?
Taking over all of Gaza, sir.
I mean, how fucking crazy is that? I mean, even Eric or Don Jr., I don't know what you guys thought in the chat. Sounds like more Eric to me. Sounds more Eric-like to me, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can definitely have somebody blatantly say, come on, Dad, because he knows how bad that looks. He knows how stupid it is to do that. Like, unbelievable. And I don't even know if that's even being talked about as it pertains to this clip. Right? I don't see anybody saying, hey, look at him fucking Sig Heiling. Oh, this guy here. The okayest poster there is, I guess, here, with 4,000 followers on X is the first person, the only person I've seen actually point out the fact that this guy's doing the double sig heil on the fucking roof of the White House. What are we talking? What do we do? What? Hello? What? We're just going to fucking glance over that? Like, and he does it like jokingly. He does it fucking knowingly what he's doing, knowing what it looks like. Like, you can tell he looks like he thinks he's on top of that fucking stone pillar, right? He thinks he's on top of that fucking stone fucking pillar in Nuremberg. He really does. Like, he thinks he's on something like this. He thinks he's on something like this. You know what I mean? Like, this is more along the lines of what he thinks he's on. That's what he's trying to imitate. Not so much the Americans that are standing over it, having, killed them and defeated the Nazis already, but you get the you get what I'm trying to say there. That's what he's going for. That's what what the visions that he got in his head there. Dictator Don getting visions of being a dictator because he was standing on the roof of the White House. And the first thing that came to mind, other than talking about nuclear missiles, is to do the double dip sig heil, just like Elon Musk on the roof of the White House, ladies and gentlemen. Like, how fucking crazy is that? Didn't think I was going to wake up and see that this morning. The president of the United States double dipping on a sig heil, double dipping on a fucking Hitler salute on the roof of the White House as he's being shouted questions by the reporters on the ground. Didn't have that on my bingo card today, ladies and gentlemen. But you're seeing it here on Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. Make sure you hit the like button. Jesus H. I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, does it get any more blatant than that? Does it get any more obvious on who he's trying to imitate, who he's trying to replicate in this situation? It's fucking unreal. And what was it? Just last show, I played my old Midas Touch video giving the one-to-one comparisons between the Nazi propaganda, Nazi rhetoric, Adolf Hitler's statements directly, and the Donald Trump's propaganda, Donald Trump's rhetoric, and Donald Trump's statements directly. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, fucking add that in with the firing of the statisticians, right? Add that in with the lawsuits and the backlash that the media in this country has seen from this administration. Very, very fucking similar to the playbook, to the rhetoric, to the propaganda, to the policies of Adolf Hitler, Joseph Goebbels, the rest of these fucking Martin Bormann, the rest of these degenerates. Nothing. I mean, they're just like them. Just friggin' like them. And, speaking of degenerates and, Hitler and people that would be considered, in my eyes, somebody like a modern day Hitler, let's take a look at Bibi Netanyahu. What do you say? If we're going to be talking about, modern day Hitler and genocides and ethnic cleansing and, forced starvations, why don't we talk about this? The die is cast. We are going for a full occupation of the Gaza Strip, quote, said a senior Israeli official. Not that we didn't know that this was the plan, but to see this actually being talked about as 100% the die is cast, like there's nothing the international community can do about it now, even above and beyond the outrage about from the starvation, from the continued killings, from the ongoing stories we've seen and played on this show. The Green Beret that has been going around. We saw him on Tucker Carlson. We saw him on, he actually made the rounds on a bunch of different networks, a bunch of different podcasts that he was on telling his story. I think he sat down with Crystal and Kyle on Breaking Points, if I'm not mistaken. So Tony Aguilar, if you're not familiar with the Green Beret. So, I mean, we're trying to do our best here to highlight the atrocities and to keep this in the news. But again, here, this is Netanyahu, the genocidal Israeli government, telling us that the die is cast. There's pretty much nothing the international community can do now. Let me just read a little bit from this article, and then we'll get on to the next story here. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is reportedly planning to fully occupy the Gaza Strip, including by launching operations in areas where Israeli hostages are held. Again, it's never been about the hostages. We know it's never been about the hostages. We've seen from the indiscriminate and unmitigated bombing campaign that Israel undertook. We saw from the outright shootings of released hostages from their own side. This was never about the hostages. You can look back and continue to see protests by the families of said hostages and by what the Israeli government is doing and the actions that they've been taking ever since. They clearly don't see that as, the lives and the health of the hostages as being a top priority for this government, obviously. Sources within Netanyahu's government spoke to Israeli media outlets on Sunday and Monday about the plan, which would mark a stark departure in Israel's tactics in Gaza. The announcement fulfills the wishes of Netanyahu's, and this is in the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not too familiar about this magazine or paper or outlet or whatever it is, but one can only assume that it tends to, or it would give somewhat of a favorable leaning to Netanyahu, and even they are coming out to talk about this as it being a pretty stark departure, even though it's not really a stark departure. I think that's a little defense they're playing here as well. The announcement fulfills the wishes of Netanyahu's right-wing coalition partners who want to see Jewish resettlement in Gaza 20 years after the country unilaterally disengaged from the territory. Israeli forces removed 9,000 Jewish residents exactly 20 years ago this week. I'm not going to bother. This week, 19 live in past. So again, this is obviously going to go on to run some cover, but I did want to just show you that it's being reported by outlets that, again, are even reporting this, trying to run cover for this administration, for these actions. So, I mean, just something that we're absolutely going to have to keep our eye on, as well as the continued and ongoing humanitarian disaster, the ongoing forced starvation of Palestinians by Israel. Just something that honestly, every time I see another video, just moves me to more anger, to more frustration, deeper sadness every time you see something. Every time a video comes out, every time somebody reports on something, the more Tony Aguilar reports on as far as the GHF, it's horrendous what we're seeing. It really is. It really is. Which channel successfully had it reversed? Not sure. Yeah, he was on with Tucker Carlson. He was on with a bunch of people. So, props to him. Like I said, when I played the Tucker Carlson sit down, it wasn't anything having to do with Tucker Carlson. That just happened to be the outlet. That just happened to be the vehicle in which I got you Tony Aguilar's information. He has since sat down with multiple different organizations and outlets to get you this information. So there, if you don't feel like sitting down and watching Tucker Carlson interview him, there's, like I said, I'm sure left-leaning podcasts, newspapers, magazines, news outlets that have sat down with Tony Aguilar to get the real story from him as well. But yeah, this is just something that I wanted to, but even opposed by the IDF brass and a majority of Israelis. That's basically the highlight from this headline, right? If it's bad enough where the IDF brass supposedly opposes it, as well as a majority of Israelis, then it's something that's going to be absolutely fucking horrendous. Absolutely fucking horrendous, right? And then, speaking of horrendous, this brings us on to this little gem right here. I might see if I can pull up a different article that's not from the Daily Beast, so maybe we can dig a little deeper into this. But again, this is the article. I'll click here. See, it takes us right to it, and it says, Pete Hegseth, new leak reveals secret plan for years of troops on U.S. street. Phil Hegseth wrote the document laying out how the Pentagon and DHS could help Donald Trump's immigration plans for years. The Department of Homeland Security is looking to boost its deployment of military on the streets of the United States in order to help carry out Donald Trump's immigration policies, according to a leaked memo written by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's brother. Like, what are we fucking talking about? More U.S. military on the streets to accompany more ICE with more of a, with fucking an exponentially bigger budget than they had before, thanks to Donald Trump's new budget passed. Right, that's what I'm saying, like my music. That's what I mean. So that above and beyond the 150 bill they gave ICE, now DHS and the Pentagon are trying to figure out plans and how they can implement and deploy the U.S. military on the streets of the United States for years to come. Here, let me see if I can pull up Hegseth's brother, maybe. Brother leak. See if anybody else did some reporting on this. Excuse me. Hegseth accused of sharing sensitive information. April 22nd. No. Doesn't look like anybody's done any videos, but it does look like there has been some. Let's see here. Leaked memo from Hegseth's brother. Let's see if we can get into this just a little bit. This is from, looks like, Yahoo News Canada. So this says, leaked memo from Hegseth's brother calls for U.S. Army to help with deportations nationwide for years to come. A leaked memo from the Department of Homeland Security suggests that the Trump administration is considering the U.S. military to boost its ongoing mass deportation agenda while acknowledging the deployment of troops in Los Angeles earlier this year wasn't perfect, according to the new report. The memo was allegedly written by DHS senior advisor Phil Hegseth, the brother of Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Talk about the blind leading the blind and the incompetent and unqualified leading the incompetent and unqualified. Jesus Christ. The New Republic published text on Saturday. President Donald Trump has already used U.S. military personnel in his aggressive deportation campaign in June. As we all know, he unleashed 5,000 National Guard members and sent them to L.A. to push back against protesters demonstrating against immigration and customs enforcement raids in their neighborhood. Yeah, just something that we absolutely are definitely going to have to keep in the spotlight, keep our eye on, keep focusing on this, keep highlighting this, and make sure that people understand the plans that are, being put in place right now to keep Marines, to keep the National Guard, to keep ICE in the streets, in your neighborhood, in your homes for years to come. Fucking unbelievable. And, and people wonder why we talk about this as a fascist administration, a fascist regime. And again, as I explained here on Blue Sky, what fascism actually is, the definitional use of fascism is the far right political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, regimentation of society, involves a belief in natural social hierarchy, nationalism, and militarism. This being the militaristic side of fascism. The nationalism part being the what they would like to call an America first and America only agenda, right? We understand the national social hierarchy, white above everything else. The dictatorial power usage is, something we don't have to go into too much investigation to see. Look no farther than Donald Trump's firing of the labor statistician, right? Look no further than Donald Trump's abuse there on January 6th. Of the Capitol and on the Capitol. I mean, it fits in with the 14 tenets of fascism. If we go down the list, you can go down the list and check off verbatim every single one that fits like a fucking glove to this administration and to Donald Trump himself. Right? So just absolutely something that we need to keep our eyes on, make sure that we're highlighting and people are aware of what the fuck is going on here. Just like the stories like this, to make sure that we continue to highlight every single one of the new stories, the new revelations, the audio clips that have been dug up. Oh, I don't know if I showed you this either. Did you guys see these clips here? Let me see if I can dig these up real quick. Thank you, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm Boston Brian. This is the Blunt Politics Podcast. Again, the political podcast that calls out the bullshit of the mainstream media, the propaganda, the lies of not only the mainstream media, but Donald Trump, the Republican Party, breaks it down for the normal, hardworking, everyday individuals of this country that are affected by these policies, that being you and that being me. We try to fight through this together. So welcome to progressive independent media. Welcome to the fucking resistance. Please hit that like button on the way in or on the way out, whichever you prefer. But let me see if I can bring this up because this was posted by Midas Touch yesterday. Let's see if I can just bring this up real quick. And this was here it is right here. Put this on the screen for you guys. Just a little bit of backstory. So this was unearthed, as it says here, unearthed footage shows Trump bragging about hiring a teenage girl because she was so pretty. When a woman asked to become a flight attendant on his jet, he tells her, "You can work on my plane anytime," then says having her on board would be a death wish for him, comparing his lack of self-control to an alcoholic around scotch. He goes on to say that the girl who wanted a job was 17 or 18, right? And this is just a little bit of audio. Again, Donald Trump, again, putting his foot in his own mouth on stage, self-incriminating himself, a self-imposed burn, if you will, that is now being dug up. Again, this is 2006. Donald Trump at I'm not sure what event this is, but let's see if we can take a look at this clip. Again, just gives us a little more insight, if we needed any, to the sick mind, the mind that is full of thoughts of pedophilia in young women. That is Donald Trump's brain here. So let's check this out. Make this a little bigger for you guys. I know it's grainy. Keep in mind it's from 2006. You might have to turn this up just a little. Again, Twitter is usually a little shitty on the audio side, so I'll play this all the way through. So you can throw the volume up, and then when I come back, because I'm a loud Irish asshole, you can turn it down again. But yeah, check out this disgusting clip here.
My name is Juliet. I have a question. My question is, how many jets do you have, and how would I apply to be flight attendants?
Right, calls her up on stage immediately.
I think she's hired. Yeah, hired. Now, I had a case. It was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applied to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, well, Mr. Trump, she has no experience. So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so beautiful. And I said, let me ask you, do you have any experience? She goes, no, sir. I said, when can you start? You can work at my place anytime. Hey.
Oops, sorry.
See, now, she worked in my place. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends that are wonderful people. They're alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like, this would be my form of alcoholism.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Outright telling a story about himself being a pig to hire a 17, or what he calls a 17 or 18-year-old beautiful girl with no experience because of her looks. Right? And that's not even the worst of it. The worst of it, which was, I saw this posted in the comment section of this, was brought up again in an interview with Donald Trump and Howard Stern from, I believe this says 1999. And listen to what Donald Trump has to say in this hair clip. Listen to the fucking disgusting nature in which he incriminates himself, in which he gives us the evidence that we need in order to rightly call him out, in order to rightly put him in a category with people like Jeffrey Epstein, with people like Ghislaine Maxwell. And that's without all of the evidence that we know with him involved with those two, right? Listen to this shit. Listen to this shit.
But Donald, do you worry because you have a daughter who's a model?
I do, and I have a deal with her. She's just 17, and she's doing great, Ivanka, and she made me promise or swear to her that I would never date a girl younger than her. So as she grows, Howard, as she grows older,
right,
the field is getting very limited severely. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the nerve of her. Now you can't go out with 16-year-olds.
All right, so just in case anybody needs to like be walked through that, he's talking about his then 17-year-old daughter Ivanka and the deal that he had to make with her that he would not try to date anybody younger than she was, she being 17 at the time. So people 16 and younger, Ivanka had to tell her father that people 16 and younger were off limits. Okay? And sorry, I don't know who said it. And you can watch me do it right now. That way I don't feel as guilty. But I am stealing that diddler on the roof. That was fucking fantastic. I'm sorry. Let's see. I don't know if I can get it in time. I'm sure it's already been used somewhere, but come on. That's too fucking good. That's too good. Let me see if I can go back to where one of those clips are posted. What was it? Aaron Rupa? That's too fucking good. Come on. Let's see if anybody else beat me to the punch. I'll even give credit to the chat. Ready? Here we go. All right. Yeah, I'll show this on the screen so you guys can see me steal the chat's credit. All right, so I'm gonna quote. We're gonna go Diddler on the roof. And then I'll give cred my chat. How about that? No, I can't do that one. We'll do this, and then if it takes off, I'll give credit to you guys. How about that? That's fantastic, though. You guys are fucking hilarious. Oh, that's great. All right, so that was just a little bit of oh, Diddler on the roof. You guys crack me up. You guys absolutely crack me up. That brings us, if we're talking about his, Donald Trump's involvement there and, the new leaks that were coming out that we just heard there. No, I'm not giggling about that. I'm giggling about you guys being clever. You guys are being clever at calling Donald Trump out, for the gross monster diddler that he is. I can laugh at your cleverness without actually laughing at the egregious crimes committed by these fucking assholes, right? We can laugh at the unserious people involved, just not the serious crimes committed by those unserious people. All right. So, and then, like I said, that brings us to this as well, right? I'm sure people are aware of this, this article here. Teen models, powerful men in the private dinners when Trump hosted Look of the Year in the early 1990s. Donald Trump judged the world's biggest modeling competition. Since it hit by the allegations of abuse, this is how people who were there remember it. It was on September 1st, 1991. A large private yacht cruised towards the Statue of Liberty. It was full of gross old men and really young women, young girls as young as 14 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 14 years old. Another contestant who was 15 at the time also remembers being asked to walk for Trump, Casablancas, and other men on the boat in September 1992. So that's a different date. That's above and beyond what we know in this article. There was also something here that talks about why did Donald Trump have to be, why does he keep having to bring Donald Trump around? And then here it is right here. Check out this. Whenever I saw him, I was always like, why does John have to invite him? Him being Donald Trump. Barbara Piling, also then an elite model, told us Trump asked her out for dinner in the summer of 1989 at the industry soiree. She recalls Trump asking how old she was. Quote, I said 17, and he said, that's just great. You're not too old. You're not too young. That's a first-hand account from one of the women there. It goes on to recall some of the other egregious acts. It goes on to recall how Casablancas and other men were calling these young women even after this trip happened to, quote, check up on them. The alcohol that was given to them. Just goes on to detail more about Casablancas and Trump's relationship and their involvement with young women. Talks about Kate Dillon. Talks about I would absolutely advise people who haven't checked into this article yet to definitely check into this article and read this. If you need any more insight or any more evidence to suggest that, yes, Donald Trump is absolutely the man or the lack thereof that we believe him to be. Here he is with his a young daughter, Ivanka, who was then 9 years old at this Look of the Year competition. While these other disgusting acts were going on around the boat, he's got his then 9-year-old daughter there. Here's David Copperfield, some of the other people involved here. Pictures from the women, the girls. Here's Donald Trump again with let's see here. Donald Trump with contestants in 1991 Elite Look of the Year. This is the year he was a judge. And then this is obviously Donald Trump getting a nice gander at these young women. Here, Donald Trump, then 45 years old, with contestants who were between the ages of 14 and 19. They actually lied. It goes on to talk about in this article how they actually lied to say that the contestants were between the ages of, I think it said 15 and 24, but investigations found out there was nobody above the age of 19. So, again, just more insight, more evidence to place Donald Trump exactly square in the circles that would place him with Jeffrey Epstein, would place him in and around people like Ghislaine Maxwell, and the rest of these fucking sick puppies, right? All right, let's see if I can get rid of some of these before I start slowing down the old computer. So that one's done. We did that one. We took a look at him and Prince Andrew. We talked about that one. What do you say we get into this, and then we'll get into some of our, we'll get into the Texas Democratic lawmakers, and then we'll get into some of our clips. What do you say? What do you say? So we'll tie everything together here with the Trump regime tying its $1.9 billion in local disaster funds to stances on Israel boycotts. To qualify now for emergency relief funding, federal disaster agencies say the states must certify that they will not sever commercial relations specifically with Israeli companies. So if you're not hearing that correctly, in order for Americans, United States citizens inside the United States to get disaster relief funding, their states have to commit, put up their right hands, submit to everybody that they will not sever any commercial relations with Israeli companies, regardless of what those Israeli companies are involved in, regardless of where their funding goes to. So much for America first. Seems like Israel first with the side of the United States, if you ask me. This seems like the complete fucking opposite of America first, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to see in the next coming days how MAGA dives into this and how they excuse this one. Because this situation here, ladies and gentlemen, and say what you will, actually had me liking posts, get this, from people like Nick Fuentes, people like Dan Bilzerian, people like Matt fucking Walsh. And I know, sounds ridiculous, sounds outlandish, but they correctly and accurately called out Donald Trump and his administration for being Israel first, for helping a genocidal regime above and beyond their own citizens, right? They called it outright. A broken clock is right fucking twice a day, or whatever you want to call it. But they're not happy about it. Here, let's see if I can find that real quick. I think did I email that to myself? Let me see here. Let me just give a quick check. I might have emailed the entire subject that was on there to myself, but I'm not 100% sure because so much goes in, so much goes out. Nope, that's Bill Burr. Nope. All right, so let's just see if I'll just pull it up on this. What should I type in? Just Trump Israel funding, maybe? Trump Israel disaster. Maybe that'll bring it up. Let's see, I'm just looking for a couple of the tweets from the ultra MAGA people that are already calling out Donald Trump for this. Let's see here. 19 hours ago. Oh, here's a picture. Here we go. Trump's base breaks further as he demands state support from Israel or risk disaster relief, right? So you might have to take my word for it. I'm not going to waste too much of your time trying to look for this. I'll give it one more shot here. Let me see if I'll just pull up somebody that I knew actually talked about it. So Nick Fuentes. Everybody's most hated Nazi, right? So even he is saying this. Let me see if I can find where he talks about it. Here he goes, right here. So I'll pull this up, share this tab instead. My apologies. It just took me a second to find that. This is where Nick Fuentes says, the Trump administration is now withholding disaster relief funds from American states that boycott Israel. So remember to pledge allegiance to Israel before your house is destroyed by a fire or hurricane. It could save your life. Right? And then there was posts, like I said, we don't have to keep going on, but, they continued on with people like this. Like I said, Dan fucking Bilzerian, Matt Walsh, some of the most degenerate bigoted, hateful people on the internet today. I guess correctly calling out the Trump administration for what is anything but an America First policy here. So let's just read just a little bit into it, and then we'll get into the Texas Democrats showing the Texas Republicans how it's done. Let's see here. The United States and cities that boycott Israel companies will be denied federal aid for natural disaster preparedness. The Trump administration announced Monday tying routine federal funding to its political stance. The Federal Emergency Management Agency stated in grant notices posted on Friday that the states must follow its terms and conditions. Those conditions require that it will certify that they will not sever commercial relations specifically with Israeli companies. The requirement applies to at least $1.9 billion that states rely on to cover search and rescue equipment, emergency manager salaries, and backup power systems, among other expenses, according to 11 agency grant notices reviewed by Reuters. The requirement is the Trump administration's latest effort to use federal funding to promote its views on Israel. He looks like a fucking Oompa Loompa there. The Department of Homeland Security, the agency that oversees FEMA, in April said that boycotting Israel is prohibited for states and cities for receiving its grant funds. FEMA separately said in July that U.S. states will be required to spend part of their federal terrorism prevention funds on helping the government arrest migrants in administration priority. The Israel requirements takes aim at BDS, the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement designed to put economic pressure on Israel to end its control of the West Bank and Gaza Strip territories. The Palestinians claim for a future state. The campaign's supporters grew more vocal in 2023 after Hamas carried out its October 7th massacres in southern Israel and Israel invaded Gaza. In response, DHS will enforce anti-discrimination laws and policies, including its as it relates to the BDS movement, which is expressly grounded in anti-Semitism. A spokesperson for Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem said in a statement. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's just a list of any companies involved in funding the ongoing genocide, and just allows you to recognize what companies you should be boycotting, or at least buying less of or staying away from. I could be wrong on that one. Correct me in the chat if I am. The requirement is largely symbolic. At least 34 states already have anti-BDS laws or policies, according to the University of Pennsylvania Law Journal. The movement did not immediately respond for question or comment. The American Jewish community supports the Trump administration's policy, as it would. This above and beyond the attacks that we've seen to humanitarian aid organizations that help around the world, FEMA, UNICEF, USAID. So now everything on top of all that, your livelihood is now going to be tied to your support for Israeli companies, or your state's support for Israeli companies. It doesn't seem like, again, this is just to show you above and beyond the tweets and the blue skies and the posts on Instagram and whatnot from these MAGA commentators already not being happy with this. This is just a little bit from the war room. So I just want to play a minute or two of this to show you just how not happy they are about this. Let's see if I can put this up on the screen again. This is, unfortunately, it's not Alex Jones. It's his stand-in here. He must be being replaced. He must have a doctor's appointment to get his anus checked out again, as it's definitely being widened out by Donald Trump over the last few years. So he's got that rectum exam he's got going on. But let's just see what they're talking about as it concerns this new policy they've put in place, where states are only going to get disaster relief funding, apparently for search and rescue efforts, backup power generators to pay their disaster relief managers if they continue to support Israeli companies that are funding an ongoing genocide.
Today, which I think is what caused this trend on X, because it's so ridiculous. It caused me to fire off a bunch of posts. U.S. links disaster aid to loyalty to Israel. I mean, folks, it's so in your face now. It's ridiculous. It's so in your face now. You have to. The debate is over. Now the debate is: are they doing it intentionally to rub your nose in it as an arrogant thing? Or are they so boisterous about it as like a con man act, a confidence game, because they see how they're losing the grips of the world, losing the grips of the Americans?
Is this Alex Jones Jr.? No, this is Owen Schroyer. He's a Nazi, Proud Boy, he's just a Nazi type, basically. That's it. So pretty much, yeah, I guess Alex Jones Jr., you could say then. But this is just a little bit. They're already talking about it. I was already searching Rumble to see if anybody was going to be talking about it, and it didn't take long to pull up, some of these main shows. Again, InfoWars being one of the main places, again, still that these assholes, these right-wing fucking fools go to pick up their information, unfortunately. But, I mean, again, it goes along the lines of the MAGA crack, the MAGA revolts, that we're seeing, surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump involvement files, Ghislaine Maxwell movement, the distraction attempts from this administration. I don't know. Is it now that we're going to see MAGA be more willing to call out this administration now? I mean, I'm not giving them credit. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But, I mean, is this where we finally start to see that turn? Is this where we finally start to see where Donald Trump does not have the fucking, the pulse of the base anymore? This seems to be, as I said in a recent Midas Touch video, this seems to be the best example, or at least the latest and greatest, most blatant example of Donald Trump getting his base wrong. Like, up until now, he has been pretty good at reading his base and judging what his base will put up with, not put up with, what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear, what they want to, the people they want to see him go after. Like, that sort of stuff is as egregious as us on the left find his actions to be. Like, you got to admit, like, he's done that dance, he's done that fine line where he's managed to keep that 30% of MAGA locked up. Right. But this seems to be his first, or at least his most blatant and biggest misstep as far as the Epstein files are concerned, as it pertains to MAGA's ability to just listen to Donald Trump. If Donald Trump says to shut up about something, that they will just shut up about it. He seems to have done severely miscalculated his base on this front. And I don't know if this is maybe just the start of the avalanche, or the start of, these MAGA commentators starting to feel comfortable calling him out for other policies other than just the Epstein files. But, again, our job here on the left is to pry our foot, feet, hands, crowbars, whatever the fuck we can into these cracks that have been forming and have formed over the last few weeks, over the last month or two in the MAGA base, and pry them some bitches open as far and deep and wide as we can. Right? So, again, I won't subject you to too much of Owen Schroyer, but, just to show you that they are already talking about this. MAGA is already calling this out as a not America First policy, as the Trump administration being owned once again by Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government, AIPAC's influence and control in the U.S. government. So if this conversation is going to bring that up in the MAGA base, AIPAC's control, Israel's control, our support for an ongoing genocide and a genocidal regime, then I'm all for it, right? Then I'm all for it. At least the conversation. But definitely not for the fact that these states have to, definitely not the fact that states will now have to bow down to Israeli corporations, Israeli companies, in order to receive local disaster funding. And that's just fucking asinine. That's just ludicrous. That's the opposite of America First. It couldn't be any more opposite. Couldn't be any more anti-American than that. And it's only more blatant. It's only more egregious seeing what Israel is now perpetrating upon the Palestinian people, and has been perpetrating upon the Palestinian people for years now, right? So, just the latest disastrous policy, latest disastrous fucking statement and issue coming out of this Trump White House. There might actually be, I'm going to show this now, I'll put this on the screen here, because obviously we're going to talk about the Texas Democratic lawmakers rallying outside the governor's mansion and the situation going on in Texas. Greg Abbott calling for the arrest of lawmakers once again. It seems like the Republicans continue to go back to this. Hey, you're under arrest. It's kind of like what Eric Adams did in New York. Like, if you drop these charges, if you come back, you're under arrest now. You broke the law now, but if you just come back, then we'll make these charges go away. We'll make it so that, you didn't end up breaking laws, according to these Republicans, as they were saying here. So, This says 17, what's it say here? 22 hours ago, Greg Abbott orders the arrest of Democratic lawmakers who left the state. So let's see if we'll just fill in the gaps here. This just gives a short little overview so we can get caught up here. The Texas governor ordered the arrest of Democratic lawmakers who left the state to block a controversial vote on new congressional maps. So in order to stop the Republicans from their ongoing gerrymandering attempts, the Democrats were forced to literally leave the state to deny quorum for the Texas House there. So Texas House Democrats abandoned their duty to Texans, Abbott said in a statement, by fleeing the state. Texas House Democrats are holding hostage a critical legislation to aid flood victims and advance property tax relief. There are consequences for dereliction of duty. Speaker Dustin Barrows just issued a call of the Texas House and issued warrants to compel members to return to the chamber to ensure compliance. I order the Texas Department of Safety to locate, arrest, and return the House chamber any member who has abandoned their duty to Texans. Abbott said the order will remain in effect until all the missing Democrat House members are accounted for and brought to the Texas Capitol. The Texas Democrats in the state legislature denied its speaker legislative quorum Monday by leaving the state for stalling plans proposed by the White House to redistrict Texas's congressional lines to more greatly favor Republicans. When the legislature gavelled in at 3 p.m. local on Monday, Republicans fell short of quorum by 8 votes after Democratic lawmakers fled to Illinois, a legislative conference in Boston, New York, and elsewhere. Hold on, sorry. Fucking, I keep tapping my headpiece and it keeps playing shit. Democrats hold 62 of the 150 seats in the legislature lower chamber. So as long as 51 members remain out of Austin, the Texas legislature cannot move forward with any votes, including a plan to redraw the state's congressional maps to give Republicans 5 more seats in Congress. So again, just Democrats doing what they need to do. Good to see, J.B. Pritzker's involvement in this too. Let's see here. See what news that brings up. Bring this here. Let's see here. This was 9 minutes ago. Inside Texas Democrats plan to seek refuge with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. That's the Washington Post. J.B. Pritzker's Illinois temporary home to Texas Democrats 3 hours ago. That's the Wall Street Journal, Chicago Sun, Pura Journal, NBC News. See if there's any quick videos that can get us maybe a little more up to date in what's been going on here. This was, let me see when this was put out. Share this tab instead. Put this on screen. This looks like it was. Does it tell me when it was? When it was put out? This was August 3rd, 2025. So that was a couple days ago. Let's see if we can find something a little more up to date. What do you say? Any quick videos? This was 3 hours ago. Let's see if this gives us a little bit.
We're here, of course, because Texas House Democrats are demonstrating what it means to fight for the preservation of our constitutional republic. Donald Trump, Governor Abbott,
Al Green,
Texas Republicans, well, they know that they're headed toward a loss of the Congress in 2026. They're afraid, and they should be. Because when you try to tear healthcare away from veterans and seniors, from children and people with disabilities, when you raise tariff taxes on groceries and beer and automobiles, when you let poor and working class families go hungry, when you allow smokestack industries to pollute the air and remove safety standards from food producers, well, all so that you can give a massive tax break to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Ackman, well, frankly, you'd better watch out. You're going to lose your elections. So they've decided that the only way to save themselves is to cheat, to change the rules in the middle of the game. And what do MAGA Republicans in Texas do when Donald Trump ignores, well, his oath of office and theirs, and when they're taking it upon themselves to thwart the will of the American people? Well, they say, when Donald Trump calls, they say, yes, sir. Right away, sir. Happy to lick your boot, sir. When Donald Trump says jump, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton say, how high? They don't care that they're violating the Voting Rights Act and racially gerrymandering their state. Well, they're hoping they can rob the bank and get away before anyone notices. Texas Republicans are trying to diminish the voting power of their own constituents, and in doing so, diminish the rights of Illinoisans and all Americans. Texas House Democrats are putting their lives on hold and their livelihoods at risk because they don't want to live in a country where the president rigs elections for his side. That's not democracy. That's not America. To be in public office right now is to constantly ask yourself, how do I make sure that we're standing on the right side of history? Well, there's a simple answer. The wrong side of history will always tell you to be afraid. And the right side of history will always expect you to be courageous. Texas House Democrats are leading the way in choosing courage and country over politics and party. That's what it means to fight for what's right. And I love this country too. And I love it so much that I'm going to fight for it too, right alongside my heroes, the Texas House Democrats.
Yeah. And again, say what you will about J.B. Pritzker, say what you will about, the amount of wealth he's accrued. Say what you will about just just having billionaires in this country to begin with. But something has to be said about, his rhetoric, right? His willingness to fight this administration. So I give him a lot of respect for having the bank account that he has, but also is willing to fight and stand up against tax breaks for himself, tax breaks for his buddies, right? So I think it says a lot about the man that even though he stands to benefit from a lot of what Donald Trump and Republicans plan to do, he still finds it necessary to get up there and fight for not only Texas House Democrats, but for the working class people in this country. Or at least, rhetorically, he says he's willing to do so, right? And, I don't know a ton about his extended record as far as governor of Illinois. But I haven't heard much against or, against the argument for, listening to what this man has to say. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Bicycle Mike, all you guys that have been contributing. Sorry if I didn't see it as it went by in the chat, but I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, everybody that's contributed. So just a little love, again, for the Texas House Democrats who, again, like he said, put their lives on hold. Had decided it was necessary and, required of them to flee to other states in order to, deny the Texas House Republicans the ability to further gerrymander their districts to give Republicans 5 more seats, right? So hat tip again to the House Democrats there. Put that back. We'll go back to Boston Brian here. Yeah, that thing's fucking, I'm telling you, it's heavy. All right, but that's it again. Just does he go on here? Let me see if he finishes with anything.
So the state of Illinois is proud to stand side by side with these brave Texas Democrats, heroes in the battle to save our democracy.
All right. So, sorry, a little bit from JB there. Let's see if I can make this bigger on the screen for you guys. Take that away. So that was that. And then you also have this going on at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're trying to cover a lot today. I know I'm flying by a lot of things or trying to get a lot of things in the headlines today, but you also have the House committee issue subpoenas for Epstein files and depositions with the Clintons, right? So the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the Justice Department on Tuesday for files in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation and is seeking depositions with the Clintons and former law enforcement officials, part of a congressional probe that lawmakers believe may show links to President Donald Trump and former top officials. The Republican-controlled committee issued subpoenas for depositions with former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and 8 former top law enforcement officials. The committee's actions showed how, even with lawmakers away from Washington on a month-long break, interest in the Epstein files is still running high. Trump has denied prior knowledge of Epstein's crimes and claimed he cut off the relationship long ago. I don't know why they report it like that when even the timeline that Donald Trump gives makes absolutely no sense when we know he praised Jeffrey Epstein 2 years after he says he cut off the relationship. So why AP, which is supposed to be a trusted news source, is reporting this so fucking lackadaisically and lazily is beyond me. I'm not sure. But it has repeated to try to move the past. The Justice Department's decision not to release a full accounting of the investigation, but lawmakers from both major political parties, as well as many in the Republican president's political base, have refused to let it go. Rep. James Comer, the Republican chairman of the Oversight Committee, noted in letters to the Attorney General Pam Bondi and the former officials that the cases of Epstein and his former girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, quote, have received immense public interest and scrutiny. You think? While the department undertakes efforts to uncover and publicly disclose additional information related to Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's cases, it is imperative that Congress conduct oversight of the federal government's enforcement of sex trafficking laws and generally and specifically its handling of the investigation and prosecution of Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's Mrs. Maxwell, Comer said. Since Epstein's 2019 death in a New York City jail, he has waited for sex trafficking charges, yada, yada, yada. The committee is also demanding interviews under oath from former attorneys general spanning the last three presidential administrations: Merrick Garland, Bill Barr, Jeff Sessions, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, and Alberto Gonzalez. Lawmakers also subpoenaed former FBI directors James Comey and Robert Mueller. However, it was Democrats who sparked the move to subpoena the Justice Department for its files on Epstein. They were joined by some Republicans last month to successfully initiate the subpoena through a subcommittee over the House Oversight Committee. Quote, today was an important step forward in our fight for transparency regarding the Epstein files and our dedication to seeking justice for the victims, and quote, said Democratic reps Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the committee, and Summer Lee, who initiated the subpoena in a joint statement. Quote, now we must continue putting pressure on the Department of Justice until we actually receive every document, end quote. The subpoenas give the Justice Department until August 19th to hand over the requested records. Those such records requested are typically open to negotiation. The committee is also asking the former officials to appear for the depositions throughout August, September, and October, concluding with Hillary Clinton on October 9th and Bill Clinton on October 14th. While several former presidents, including Trump, have faced congressional subpoenas, none has ever appeared before lawmakers under compulsion. The committee has previously issued subpoenas for an interview with Maxwell, who had been serving a prison servant sentence in Florida. No longer. She's in Texas at a cushy facility. However, Comer has indicated he will be willing to delay that deposition until after the Supreme Court decides whether to hear an appeal to her conviction. She argues she was wrongfully prosecuted. Why they have to put that in there, I don't fucking know either. But lots happening. I mean, a lot's happening as it pertains to Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein. Again, I don't give a shit what files are released on who, as long as at some point we get them all. I don't know. I don't care how the dam eventually starts cracking. I don't care who they interview as it pertains to the fucking interview them all. Take anybody that's even mentioned remotely, interview them all. Bring them all in again. Bring them fucking all in again. If they're around, bring them all in. Just make sure that we end up getting all the information, which it doesn't seem like that we're going to, because check this out. I'm sure you guys all heard of this as well. Trump's name being redacted from the Epstein files. Let's see here. Epstein victims say Trump's name's reported move. Reported Trump's administration won't release the Epstein files. Trump's name. Oh, here we go. I don't know why this is an India Today article, but the headline remains the same and factual. Trump's name blacked out in Epstein files after FBI review. So they got hundreds, if not thousands of fucking people sifting through these things that could rightly give us the information that they're seeing, but instead are just looking for instances where Donald Trump's name was brought up so that they could black it out. FBI redacted Trump's name from Epstein files, citing privacy concerns. Nearly 1,000 agents reviewed 100,000 pages for references to Trump. Justice Department found no evidence of criminal activity by Trump, so they say. Right? How are we supposed to know? You just redacted everything that had to do with him. All right. So here, let me redact everything that has to do with Donald Trump, everything that even says his name, but then go ahead and believe me as I say we didn't find anything. We didn't find any wrongdoing. Right? And they actually believe that to fucking slide now. They actually think that this is going to slide. But imagine if fucking, I don't know, Joe Biden had 1,000 agents going through 1,000 different documents pertaining to, I don't know, Hunter Biden's dealing with Burisma or something, you know, any one of his dealings, and what MAGA would have fucking done if they heard that. Good God, they would have lost their minds, only to have like Hunter Biden's name redacted from all of the, like, they would have lost their shit. But here it is, just, the latest in the ongoing effort to shield Donald Trump from any criminal involvement in this. But again, the more he tries to protect himself, the more it continues to blow up in his face, right? So the more the stories like, the ones like this that we played earlier in the show, just in case you're just joining us now, these were just a couple of the clips that we played earlier in the show of just some things that were uncovered and continue to be uncovered by, investigatory work online from Donald Trump's past interviews. So this one right here, where he talks about, he tells on himself about a story where a 17-year-old girl, he says 17 or 18, but one only has to assume that he says 18 just to kind of cover his tracks remotely in this situation. So an underage girl asks for a job on one of his fucking establishments or whatever, somebody that has no experience, somebody that Trump's team says, hey, she has no experience, but because Donald Trump finds her so goddamn attractive as an underage girl, he brings her in for an interview. She sits down, tells him she has no experience, and Donald Trump immediately says, when can you start? When can you start? Right? Right? Remember that? Yeah, I'll start it right here. This is where he starts this. This is where he starts this story. Just in case you're just coming in. And I feel like this is good to continue to drill into the public spotlight, into the political zeitgeist here, where Donald Trump in past, this is 2006, we'll look at after this in a 1999 interview with Howard Stern, where he continues to incriminate himself as far as, sex acts, sex crimes, sexual thoughts with underage girls. Yeah, check this out. Listen to this story.
Who was 17 or 18 applying to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actress. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, look, Mr. Trump, she has no experience. So I interviewed her right.
Okay. She has no experience, says his team. Basically, and I believe, in my whole heart, I believe this is Donald Trump's team trying everything to get him not to hire an underage girl. Right? So they're probably like, no, you know what? No, we probably shouldn't. She's got no experience. Like, no, we don't even want to give her a shot. Right? Like, she's got zero experience. Right? In their minds, they're like, how can we stop him from getting another fucking underage girl on this fucking jet? Right? In one of his establishments, working at the Mar-a-Lago spa. But Donald Trump overrides them and says, no, I don't care. I find this underage girl so attractive that I'm going to bring her in for an interview anyway. And he continues. So I interviewed her anyway. And he goes on. Listen to this sick shit.
Because she was so pretty.
Because she was so pretty. An underage girl we're talking about.
Said, let me ask you, do you have any experience? She goes, no, sir. I said, when can you start?
So he likes him dumb. So not only does he like his political base dumb, right? But he likes his women, he likes his underage girls, inexperienced. He likes them the same way he likes his base, apparently, the sick fuck. So this underage girl comes in for an interview, says she's got no experience. And because Trump finds her so attractive, he says, when can you start? Right? And look at the look he gives this, the girl he just brings on stage here. Right? Watch the look once she goes off stage. I wonder what he's looking at there, right? And he goes on to not only say, more stupid shit, but he goes on to say that if that beautiful woman that was just on stage, per Donald Trump's words, were to be anywhere near him or on his plane, it would be like, and we don't know how old that woman is, I don't think. The story is about another underage girl he's talking about. But by Donald Trump's words, he says that, if he brings her on the plane, it's the same as if an alcoholic were to have a glass of scotch in front of him. Listen.
See, now, she worked in my plane. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends that are wonderful people. They're alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like, this would be my form of alcoholism.
Basically saying that he would not be able to control himself. Right? Again, just self-incriminating just literally self-imposed fucking awareness for everybody else, telling everybody else how dangerous he is around women, especially young underage girls. Fucking unbelievable.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Right, and he goes on, and like, you know, and we might as well play the other one here, because in the comments of this very fucking post here by Midas Touch was posted by Rebel Party here, an interview in 1999 from Donald Trump where he talks about a deal he had with his then 17-year-old daughter Ivanka, in which Ivanka had to get him to literally sign a fucking deal, shake hands with her, to not date anybody younger than she was. And again, then being 17 years old at the time. So people 16 years old and younger, Ivanka had to tell her dad at this time not to go after her. Listen to this shit.
But Donald, do you worry because you have a daughter who's a model?
I do, and I have a deal with her. She's just 17, and she's doing great, Ivanka, and she made me promise or swear to her that I would never date a girl younger than her.
17. She made me swear to her, promise to her, that I would never date a girl younger than she was. And then he goes on to say,
so as she grows, Howard, as she grows older,
right,
the field is getting very limited severely. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the nerve of her. Now you can't go out with 16-year-olds.
Fucking unbelievable. And again, clip after clip after clip like this can be brought up, can be played, and will continue to be brought up and continue to be played. Right? Yes, absolute creepiness, absolute sick fuck, absolute fucking like depravity. I mean, that is just disgusting on so many different levels, on so many different fronts. And one can only assume as to what Ivanka knew by the age of 17 about her dad's fucking habits, that she had to literally sit him down and be like, hey, please, for the love of fucking God, please don't try to date anybody 16 years old or younger. Like, what did she know at that time? Right? I mean, we saw the picture of her 9 years old at that modeling thing, right? At that modeling event on the yachts with the girls that were 14 to 19 years old. Ivanka was there 9 years old. What did she see? What did she see on those trips, in those modeling events? To have to sit her fucking dad down and be like, listen, you sick prick. Don't touch anybody under the age of 18. How about we start there, right? Unreal. Yeah, in public, by his own accounts, in front of a camera, or in front of a microphone, brought on by himself. Like, these aren't things that have to be like dug up and they were like hot mic'd and somebody had a fucking hidden camera. No, these are him in front of the camera saying it, freely, willingly. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And this is the guy that, people on the right still defend to the end, even though we continue to find and stumble upon and dig up and unearth new clips. And shout out to Midas Touch and everybody else that's been doing great work at scouring the internet for examples like this that would corroborate the left's theory and the evidence that we already have to suggest Donald Trump's pedophilia, Donald Trump's involvement with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, as well as the underage girls that were working at the spa in Mar-a-Lago, as well as allowing Jeffrey Epstein to poach young girls, underage girls that worked at the spa in Mar-a-Lago, having known what Jeffrey Epstein does with these girls. I mean, the evidence just continues to stack up. The layers to this fucking sick puppy cake continue to fucking get thicker and thicker and thicker here. Literally with each passing day, each passing hour almost, we learn more about Donald Trump's, again, depravity and involvement with both Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And as it pertains to both Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, as we talked about on the last show, MAGA is now doing everything they can to set up their base. The MAGA commentators are doing everything they can to now set up their base for Donald Trump pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell in return for testimony that would in somehow, defend or protect Donald Trump from criminalities in this case. So now, because this was so goddamn difficult for me to do the first time, I had to go through this whole thing, screen record it, send it, make it a file. So it was a nightmare, right? So this is my screen recording of that. Just the best example so far I could find of a MAGA commentator getting the word, the memo, the talking points, the propaganda from the White House to say, hey, we got to start smoothing over Ghislaine Maxwell's reputation so we can give the MAGA base an out for when I pardon them, for them not to be upset with me, but to, kind of defend the decision, right? So this is Greg Kelly, and hopefully it's loud enough. I really do. Hopefully, I hope it's loud enough. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I never know about the sound when you screen record or anything like that. But we'll see how much control I have over the volume. I'll turn it all the way up on all things and see if we can get into this. All right. So we watched just a few seconds of this on the last show. But again, we couldn't get into the whole thing because of Newsmax being a shitty hack, supposed media site and not having shit work right. But this is Greg Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, doing his best to set the table, to bring over the fucking silver platter with Ghislaine Maxwell's pardon on it from Donald Trump, and trying to make it so that it is editable, so that it is palatable and recitable for the MAGA base when this move inevitably happens. So let's take a look at Greg Kelly here and how he's smoothing over Ghislaine Maxwell's reputation. Check it out.
Oh boy, there he is again. Jeffrey Epstein. Annoying story, isn't it, in so many ways, and kind of infuriating. All right, he beat the system kinda in death. Total monster. I believe. And again,
remember,
monster.
What's even better about this, guys?
Guilty to that horrible.
What's even better about this, guys, is on the last show, and I'm gonna have to go back and make clips. I still have to go back and make a clip of when we caught Donald Trump farting his ass off, shitting his pants, at that press conference where Pam Bondi was questioned about the Epstein files. Remember, we caught that live here. Nobody else. I didn't see it reported anybody else where Donald Trump shit his pants in that interview, right? But we did. We caught it here. I still have to go back and make a clip of that. But we talked about how in the last show, Greg Kelly went from praising literally everybody on earth when Donald Trump and Pam Bondi came out with Bindergate Phase 1. Like he was glowing. He was smiling ear to ear, fucking thanking this person, that person, the MAGA base. And then it was cut to 2 weeks ago where he was like, I don't know if this is really such a big deal. And now cut to now where he's like, God, this story is just annoying. It is so annoying, this story. It's like the progression that you can see in the MAGA commentators in just like the last few weeks is it's fucking like, it's like an astronomical shift. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking, it's like the loss of the polar fucking ice caps, like over time. And then in the last couple fucking centuries, it's like, that's how like expedited it is. All right, here we go. How's the volume? Let's see. Audio is good. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. How are you? Good to see you guys. I had the best mods. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's continue. I'm gonna have to skip around a little bit too because I had to record like the commercials and like the whole kit and caboodle. So we'll skip around a little bit. If you're just joining me, this is Greg Kelly trying to again whitewash Ghislaine Maxwell's fucking reputation after she was convicted as a sex trafficker, as a pedophile, in her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, and us knowing her past relationship with Donald Trump and the cushiony, the fucking favorable treatment she's receiving now from this administration. So take it away, Greg Kelly. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Please share the stream out. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 13K. I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't, for the quality of television, the quality of YouTube of videos you get here. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Let's go. And of course, I'm kidding. Just hit the like button though.
Sick stuff. But that doesn't mean that Ghislaine Maxwell is guilty. And there is a hell of a lot of evidence out there that she's innocent, and a hell of a lot of evidence that they railroaded her. Part of a deep
There's
state
a hell of a lot of evidence out there to suggest that Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent. And hopefully, with these extravagant, outlandish claims that Greg Kelly is now making, he'll go on to show us all of the evidence that would suggest Ghislaine Maxwell, the world's probably most prominent sex trafficker, pedophile, was somehow innocent. And again, if that doesn't make you throw up in your mouth just thinking about, fucking, it gets worse. Check this out.
Hysterical plot. And I don't like it. And I don't care if it's unpopular. In fact, I'm kind of really impressed with President Trump right now that he won't be boxed in when it comes to this story. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell has left a prison in Florida, and they put her in one in Texas, which is said to be a better, cleaner facility, because it looks like she's poised to offer a lot of evidence to the authorities. How this is all.
Oh, stop with the fucking lipping, dude. The lip licking. Jesus, he fucking throws me just rattles me so much I can't even speak after I see it. God damn, somebody get this guy a glass of water, for Christ's sakes. But here he is, starting into his defense of, again, Ghislaine fucking Maxwell, one of the most monstrous human beings now in custody in our fucking Bureau of Prisons. And yeah, it's gross. Yeah, lizard tongue. Mr. Lizard Tongue here. It's gross. It's gross. It's so distracting.
Going to work out is a bit unclear. But in a few moments, I'm going to talk to Ian Maxwell. That's her older brother. Ian Maxwell believes in her innocence, has been fighting for it.
So not only that, but he's gone as far as to platform Ghislaine Maxwell's brother, who's gone on any and all media sources he possibly could to, avail fucking Ghislaine of any wrongdoing and talk about how innocent and how railroaded she was, which, I don't know if you can really blame a brother for trying to do, really. But in this case, to have Greg Kelly and Newsmax use that for their benefit, for their political benefit, to help Donald Trump in this case, is pretty gross. And that's later on in the show. But he goes on to talk about here how Ghislaine is innocent. Let's talk about it.
Has not abandoned his sister. And if you look at this, yeah, there they are. Ian Maxwell is on the right, and there's Ghislaine Maxwell in the front there. So I look forward to that conversation. We'll come back to this issue in a moment. But first, this.
They are invisible, all-powerful, the most lethal.
All right, this is where Greg Kelly goes on to show some fucking clip from Modern Marvels from 2001 because of Donald Trump, moving nuclear submarines, or what he says is moving nuclear submarines in and around Russia. I don't know if I'll just let him go on for a few seconds.
To Russia. All right, let's break this down. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of
because
Russia,
this show is set up so fucking straight. And check this out. This is another thing that I wanted to show you guys. Check this out. So if I go to YouTube, right, and you go to Newsmax, now Greg Kelly, you would think is one of their more prominent shows. I don't know if he's their like headliner. I don't know if he's their like main feature. I would think he would be, as shitty as Newsmax is. But let me see if I can bring this in for you guys, right? Show this tab instead. Now, why is that? Oh, I got to remove this first. Add this to stage. All right, so this is the Newsmax, just real quick, and we'll go back to that. And you would think if you looked up videos that you would see Greg Kelly feature prominently, especially with such bold, claims and accusations as Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent and was railroaded, right? But funny enough, you don't see anything. So this is the newest clip that I see from Greg Kelly, and this is from 2 or 3 shows after the show that we're watching right now. But you don't see much of Greg Kelly on here, And Greg Kelly, remember, he's wearing a red tie in that show, and this goes all the way back to Finnerty's sit down with Trump. Still nothing. It's funny. No Greg Kelly. No, here it is. Here's the oldest from 4 days ago. So they skip from 4 days ago to 14 hours ago and everything in between that Greg Kelly's done. I wonder why Newsmax did that. I wonder why they're making it so difficult for everybody to watch that online. Now that it's just occurring to me, maybe there's a reason why it's a little difficult for me to find that online and watch it through their website. Right? Maybe they're not too thrilled with their anchor's coverage. Their anchor's coverage of this. I don't know. Maybe this wasn't approved by Newsmax. This wasn't pre-approved. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. But he goes on to talk about this. The moving nuclear submarines in and around Russia, and Dmitry Medvedev's statement. Let's continue. I don't. This really has nothing to do with that. I just want to go on where he talks about Ghislaine Maxwell. Spends a hell of a lot of time, but it's just a weird show, man. It really is just a weird friggin' show because you never know, like, what the title of the show, the headline of the videos has absolutely nothing to do sometimes with what they put in the videos. Like, he literally started this freaking video off, this live stream or whatever, his show off, talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's innocence, and then immediately cuts and jumps to some other random story about Donald Trump and like the nuclear submarines, right? It's like, it makes fucking absolutely no sense. But let's continue here.
Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a
Well, first
person
of all,
well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
She has. She's been arrested for that. You know
her
that.
friend or boyfriend
Epstein
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody.
Can you fucking imagine being so tone deaf as to come out and, again, like double down on wishing Ghislaine Maxwell well? Like, it's unbelievable. And I love the fact that Greg Kelly's playing this on his show, and he's going to use this to somehow get Ghislaine Maxwell off the hook. Like, this is somehow supposed to make Donald Trump look good in the eyes of Newsmax and Greg Kelly. Like, fucking round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for Newsmax, Greg Kelly, the whole team there. Great job, guys. Great job, guys, at bringing this back up. Again, where Donald Trump goes on to wish well and good luck to a convicted pedophile. Good job. All right, let's continue.
You know, it's interesting. That was right at the peak height of, well, Ghislaine Maxwell didn't have a friend in the world. He could have easily gotten away with saying, you know, what the media wanted to hear. But he didn't. And I find that remarkably human, and it's telling, and it signals to me that there's something.
He thinks what Donald Trump just said there, commending a convicted pedophile, was human. Like, he thinks that took somebody strong to do. Oh, thank you. Let's friggin' go. Let's go. 9 months, huh? I'm sorry for being so absent. I love the show. Don't worry about it, Tom. Come on, T. Don't worry about that. No worries. And no apologies necessary. We'll always be here for you, no matter what. We appreciate you. We very much appreciate you. Let's continue. Thank you.
Else going on here, and that it's an injustice. It reminds me of when President Trump, among anybody in the country really in public office, he would talk about Ashley Babbitt. Do you remember that? And he gained nothing, really, politically, from talking about that. I mean, he scored points with me and those who know the truth about Ashley Babbitt, but there are a lot of folks, Republicans even, a lot of folks did not want to talk about January.
Are you sure you want to be relating this to Ashley Babbitt? Are you sure that's the person you want to be relating this to? The lady that tried climbing through the window to try to break in and murder United States fucking politicians that were certifying a free and fair election and had to be taken down by the security at the Capitol? You sure that's who you want to relate this to there, Greg?
6th. He did. It reminds me of the kind of this, has the same feel.
What was that? That's a what? Can I rewind on this? Sorry, I got to fill out my controls. I haven't done this before. What did he just say? Check this out.
Even a lot of folks did not want to talk about January 6th. He did. It reminds me of the kind of this, has the same feel.
It kind of has like he can't even bring himself to get the fucking words out that he has to say in this segment. He can't even get himself to fucking say these words to try to defend Ghislaine Maxwell. He's even struggling himself. It kind of reminds me of it reminds me of oh man, I love it.
Ghislaine Maxwell, he would talk about, and he did it in a certain way. Now, folks, I know people are horrified when I say there's a possibility that this individual just might be innocent.
Innocent. Innocent. And yes, people are rightly horrified considering she's been convicted. You fucking feeble-minded twat bag. Right? You fucking delusional dipshit in a fucking suit that is clearly too tight around the neck. She's been convicted. So for now, a news agency or a news outlet, any of them, to come out and be like, well, fucking there's evidence to suggest she's innocent, like completely innocent. We're talking here. He's saying that there's evidence to suggest that she has been completely railroaded and set up, like 100%. That's what he's trying to get the MAGA base to believe right now. Not you or I. I know you and I don't fucking buy this bullshit. I'm not believing. I don't put you in a lower category like that you would believe that. No, you're not stupid. You've hit the like button already. You've already subscribed to Blunt Politics and Boston Brian here at YouTube or Twitch or Instagram. Christ almost died. Instagram or YouTube, wherever. You know what I mean? That's, you guys are smart enough to understand that. But clearly Greg Kelly, not smart enough. Listen to this bullshit. To suggest she's innocent, guys. Innocent.
But think about it. Who's told us about her? The most reviled institutions in America, right? The media and the Biden Justice Department.
The media is literally just revealing evidence, right? The media isn't making any of this up. I'm sure you can find stories throughout the years that have been found to have been proven false or wrong or misstated or mischaracterized, right? But the media is just coming out typically with court documents, lawsuit filings, depositions, documents that investigative journalists have dug up. Like, they're not making the shit up. They're literally just reporting on it. And again, the FBI or the DOJ, whoever he's going on to talk about, they're prosecuting it. So it's not like the information didn't come from these people or these agencies, whatever you have to say about these agencies, right? They're just either prosecuting it or reporting on it. This is remarkable, guys. This is fucking, I don't know how, if you understand just how fucking remarkable this is right now, but we are now watching Greg Kelly, one of the more prominent MAGA commentators on Newsmax, one of the more prominent MAGA fucking media sites, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right now trying to get the MAGA base to believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent. Let that sink in.
Right? They did the heavy lifting on this stuff. I want to go back to JFK. The assassination of John F. Kennedy, right? Remember what the government told us. Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy and shot him alone, by himself.
So now he's going to talk about how other government conspiracies in his eyes should should mold our beliefs, should get us to second guess and rethink the conviction, I guess, of Ghislaine Maxwell because of John F. Kennedy, and I don't know. So I'm going to skip this part because this is, again, where he tries to do his distraction attempts. This is his reasoning, I guess, behind why he thinks Ghislaine is completely innocent, is because he doesn't like the government, because, I guess JFK. I don't know. Here we go. We'll go back into where he gets back into these assholes here, though. Ready? Right here. All right. Let's continue.
And that's why I'm not taking anything without skepticism from anybody, especially the media, especially the government, especially the Department of Justice. And I don't care, quite frankly, who it's about, including Ghislaine Maxwell and, to a lesser extent, Jeffrey Epstein. All right.
And Jeffrey Epstein now. So not just Ghislaine Maxwell. Both Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein now. Greg Kelly does not believe they're guilty. Does not believe that posthumously, or if he's not dead, not posthumously, Jeffrey Epstein is guilty, and does not believe that Ghislaine Maxwell, after her convictions, is guilty either. That's what's going on right now. That's where we're at in this situation. That's how far down this fucking ladder we have fallen, ladies and gentlemen. That MAGA, on their last fucking leg with their last dying breath is now trying to get their base to believe the only thing that they have left in their fucking bag is that all of it, that Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump, all of it, none of it, it's all fake. Not by Democrats. It's just not real to begin with. It was made up by everybody. Everybody involved was making this up. None of it's real. And I know Donald Trump said it was a hoax, but he was trying to get us to believe that it was like a Democrat written hoax, like, you know, they conspired and concocted all of this shit. Greg Kelly now is just saying that everybody, the whole thing, whether you're a reporter, whether you're in the FBI, the DOJ, the government, the head administration, doesn't matter. Everybody made it up. The planes don't exist. The flight logs don't exist. The crimes never happened. Donald Trump having underage girls working at the spa at Mar-a-Lago never happened. You know, the Howard Stern interviews, the 2006 clip that we played on the show earlier today talking about hiring a 17-year-old girl because she finds her so attractive, even though she has no experience. Like, none of that plays the fact that he can grab women by the crotch without, their consent, and the nasty shit he said about his own daughter, and the deal he had to make with his daughter to not date anybody under the age of 17. Like, don't add that all up and put that together like you're supposed to, like you should. Because goddamn, this is nuts, guys. This is fucking nuts.
I say lesser extent, Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to the sex stuff in 2008, all right? He's a dirtbag monster. Does that mean Ghislaine Maxwell is? I don't think so, folks. That's not the way our society works. Not the way it's supposed to work at all.
Wow. No. So now, because we have firsthand accounts from the victims themselves that say that Ghislaine Maxwell was worse than Jeffrey Epstein, more of a monster than Jeffrey Epstein was, engaged in just as much sexual abuse and criminality as Jeffrey Epstein did. And now we have what fucking MAGA would call a serious news outlet, in their eyes, obviously, not ours, talking about how they were just completely set up. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were just completely set up. This is fucking remarkable. I don't know if this is going to sink in right now, just how remarkable this is. But at some point, ladies and gentlemen, when the truth is finally revealed, when we know everything that we can know about this situation and all the crimes that were committed and all the people that were involved, this is going to be fucking nuts.
There is so much exculpatory evidence here that nobody understands, that it looks like the government kept from the defense, which is illegal, juror misconduct, you name it. And look at what happened in that court, right? Prosecutor pointing the finger, all right? Just remember this image for a moment, all right? Ghislaine Maxwell's on the left.
And guess what? This is his only bit this is literally his only leg he has to stand on in this whole argument, is the fact that fucking Comey's daughter was somehow involved in any way. That's literally the only evidence I believe that he gives here as to why the most prolific fucking pedophile duo, sex trafficking duo in history are completely innocent in Newsmax's eyes, is because fucking Comey's daughter was somehow involved.
It's COVID, right? So hardly anybody's there. And the attorney, the government attorney, doesn't have to wear a mask, pointing her finger right there at Maxwell. A couple of things that a lot of people don't know or don't appreciate about this case. Her alleged misconduct, her alleged crimes took place when? From at least in or about 1994 to 1997, right? Isn't that a long time ago?
Are you kidding me? So he's saying because the crimes were committed between 1994 and 1997, that's something that we shouldn't be doing any, like, isn't that imagine coming out and saying in the fucking Epstein file case as related to Ghislaine Maxwell and the fucking pedophilia, the fucking trafficking of underage girls, and the wide range of clients that were involved in their high profiles, heads of state, leaders of corporations. And his response to that is, well, wasn't that a long time ago? Like, do we really need to be prosecuting this? Is this something we should really be looking at? Like, this is what he's saying one more time. I don't know how I can rewind it just like 5 seconds, but hopefully I'll try. Listen, check it out. He says, fucking, isn't that a long time ago? My apologies. Sorry, I'm trying to get this right. Ready? Here we go. Check this out.
When? From at least in or about 1994 to 1997, right? Isn't that a long time ago? What do we not have in 1994 and 1997? We don't have text messages. We don't have surveillance cameras all over the place. We don't have all of the things they use to convict people today. They didn't have any of that. They had some other weird stuff. I'll get to that in a second.
I'm sorry. So no conviction prior to security cameras is relevant because we didn't have security cameras. Like, how do you think that nobody was prosecuted before the fucking invention of security cameras and text messaging? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? This is the excuse. This is what he wants MAGA to use because we didn't have text messages and security cameras. Like, and I bet we did have 1994 to 1997. When did security cameras come out? I bet in some way, shape, or form, we had security cameras in 1997. Maybe not at a wide ranging to a wide extent on every corner and every fucking building like we have now. But his argument is that this was too, like, do we really need to talk about this? It was so long ago. We didn't even have text messaging. We didn't even have security cameras. How can you believe any of this? Like it was in like fucking 1732. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't a fucking witch's trial. Like, this didn't happen back in Salem. This was, through the court system in the 90s, which wasn't that fucking long ago, with evidence, with jurors, with, you know what I mean? Like, wow. Unreal here. Check this out. Thank you, Nordez. Let's fucking go, guys. Let's fucking go. I appreciate you. Continue to hit that like button. I appreciate everybody sharing memberships, signing up themselves. Anybody that's given a super chat, super sticker, reached a milestone. We go through all of the, anybody that's gifted to the show. At the end of the show, we highlight and recognize everybody. So, don't fret if your super chat, a super sticker, or, gifted memberships flew by in the chat and I didn't get to see it, because we do make sure to recognize everybody at the end. But just a few more minutes of this and I'll let you guys go in a few minutes, but this is fucking remarkable shit.
Second, she was convicted in 2021 for stuff that allegedly happened almost 30 years.
No. That did happen. She was convicted on shit that did happen. That's why she was convicted on it, because it did happen. She wasn't convicted on shit that allegedly happened. If it allegedly happened, she wouldn't have been convicted on it. She was convicted on it because it was proven to have happened. So he's literally going to follow his bullshit excuse, his bullshit stance on why she's innocent, on telling us that she was convicted of all the crimes that he just told us she was innocent of. Fucking, like, none of it makes sense on any of these channels. It just doesn't make sense. The setup, the delivery, the fucking the policies, the shit just none of it makes fucking sense.
Prior. That is not right, in my opinion. And also this. Did you know that the prime witnesses against her had all received money, cash money, before they testified against Ghislaine Maxwell? We're talking.
Now, what are the chances? Epstein, that we find that there's like not much to read into that either. Paid. Let's see here. See what this brings up just real quick. A compensation fund established by Epstein's estate paid out over $121 million to approximately 150 eligible claimants. The fund was created to provide the financial restitution to survivors Epstein's case of Epstein's sexual abuse. In addition to the compensation fund, several victims also received settlements from banks like J.P. Morgan and Deutsche Bank, as well as from Epstein's estate in civil lawsuits. Right? So again, they weren't paid to testify. They weren't paid to testify. They received settlements. They received compensation because of their fucking, because of the abuse that they faced, because of the crimes that were perpetrated against them. You fucking monstrous moron. Jesus Christ! Again, it doesn't take much to look this up, Greg. I mean, you're supposed to have a show here on a real channel, and I'm gonna sit here and fucking call you out in 2 seconds and fact check you in 2 seconds.
Millions of dollars. One witness had $5 million. Another witness, 3.5. Another witness had at least $1 million because of their claims against Jeffrey Epstein. This is what they call a massive conflict of interest. And it's not right. It's just not. This is not the way it's supposed to work. And I understand, oh my gosh, if somebody shows sympathy, well, guess.
So now he's mad that the victims received, not only is he saying that they're innocent, but he's mad now that the victims received compensation. Like, that's how far we're taking this. Like, we now have to attack, and he's now trying to attack the victims in this case for having received compensation for either Epstein's estate or any of the other avenues set up by the compensation fund, right? Whether it be by Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, because of the abuse they faced. So this is where we are. MAGA is now calling out the victims, saying Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent. Jeffrey Epstein was railroaded, which ultimately means that Donald Trump couldn't possibly have any involvement. Again, if these two people have been railroaded, there's no there as far as Donald Trump's involvement, which again is the ultimate goal of this bullshit like this, right? Of horse shit like this. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Guess what? Maybe they're going to point their finger at you. It's kind of like.
So let me just see if there's anything else that we could show out of this as well. And then Greg goes on to finish this hugely important fucking show.
He's considering. Looks like he's
with a Coke test, a taste test between Coke and Pepsi. I shit you not. I shit you not. And he calls the Spanish. He calls the Spanish writing on the Coke bottles Mexican. It's written in Mexican there. What a fucking tool. And then he does a Matt Taibbi, yada, yada, yada. All right. Well, I think you guys kind of get the gist of that, right? I think you guys kind of get the gist. Let's get into thanking some people there. And then I can send you guys on your way to watch the fabulous show. What the hell is that? What the hell just flashed up on the screen? Yeah, we didn't get to this one. My apologies. It's 2 weeks old anyway, so I guess there's really no rush on it. No, not that one. This one, which was Glenn Beck's Epstein scandal explanation here, where he actually breaks out the fucking chalkboard. Maybe you guys have seen that, maybe you haven't, but I thought that might be funny to dive into as well. The guy actually breaks it out, and I don't know if he's talked about it since. I know he's covered everything but that. But big shout out not only to the Texas Democrat, but J.B. Pritzker, for his stance in this fight. And obviously big up to the Texas Democrats that have obviously, like I said, put their lives on hold to enact some change, or at least stop the Republicans from enacting the detrimental and dangerous change that they would like to enact too. But let me see if I can get into some of these thank yous here and get you guys on your way. Well, Pam on her way to start it off. Let's fucking go, Pam. Appreciate that. Yeehaw! Appreciate that. Yeah, let's finish it out. What do you say we finish it out? We'll finish it out for the Texas Dems. What do you say, ladies and gentlemen? What do you say we finish it out on a high note? I kind of like the brim down look. Is that all right? I feel like I need some straw or something in my mouth, but that's all right. We'll go through like this. How about that? Susan Thompson, thank you so much. Love that stats and she says. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Nordez coming in again with the 5 gift memberships. I appreciate that. There with the 5 gift membership there. Nordez there, buddy. I appreciate that. Sorry, that's my best auctioneer, Texas auctioneer voice. But Nordez, I appreciate the 5 gifted, my man. Hopefully everybody that's getting these gifted memberships in the chat, be sure to thank anybody that's coming out of pocket with these financial contributions to the channel. It is incredibly helpful to the channel. Everything that you guys continue to do, whether it be the gifted memberships, the signing up yourself for a membership, the Patreon, the Venmo that's up in the corner, You can send a super chat or a super sticker after the video is posted. There's like a super thanks, I think they call it, where you can kind of send in a buck or two. So bust a buck, try your luck and support an independent media. It really goes a long way in helping all of our channels, no matter which one you help there. So if there's somebody else that gives you more value, more bang for your buck, think about supporting them financially too. Patrick, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate that very, very much. I really, really do. Hope you have a fine day. Patrick had come back again with the $2. Thank you for the birthday gift of this show. Let's fucking go, Patrick. I appreciate you. Patrick having a big day today. Big day today from Patrick. Sheldon, thank you so much for the 1 gifted membership. I appreciate that as always. Thank you for coming time and time again. Bicycle Mike, what's up, big man? Let's go. Let's go. We're going to get this thing set up. We do. I appreciate that, my gifted membership. I really do. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you, Marsha. I appreciate you watching from all over the globe as well. Tanya's in the chat. Don't worry about being absent. You have your time and you need it just like everybody else. And we are not here to call anybody out or ask any questions for that matter. We're just here to be helpful and receptive and just be here when you need us. All right. So we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Nordez again with the 5 gifted. JD coming in with the profanity bonus as always. And Trudy. He's simulating firing missiles. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did just in case anybody did anybody miss that? Just before I let you go here. Just before I let you go, did anybody miss where the diddler on the roof had something to say? Check this out. Look at this bullshit. Look at this shit, ladies and gentlemen. How do you explain this to anybody? How am I supposed to explain? How do you explain this? Oh, all right. One more time before I let you go. We'll check this out. The diddler on the roof. As per the chat.
On the roof of the White House is taking questions, or he was just a few moments ago. Let's listen in, please.
Look at him. What the fuck is he doing? Oh my God. And hold on, there's one more. Just one more before I let you go. There's this other one here where it's great, where he says he's building nuclear missiles, I guess. And then he does the Sig Heil. He gives the 2-time Sig Heil. Hold on. I gotta scroll to it now. Fuck. God damn, how much shit these guys post. All right, let's see here. Let's get him with, there he goes. There's the double Sig Heil. Ready? Here we go. Check this shit out. This is fucking too much, ladies and gentlemen. All right, load. Why all of a sudden? Come on. Is that a joke? What if I went to this one? Would it shut me off? would I only get like a certain amount of views or some shit? What's the deal? Play it. Literally just played the other one. Uh-oh. All right, let's see if this works. Come on. All right, one more try. I don't know what's going on. I'm not really sure what's going on. To tell you the truth, everything's frozen. All right, well, that tells me that I should probably just let you go anyway. All right, I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. I'll see you on tomorrow night's show, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 here on the Pacific West Coast. So make sure you're there or be square. Again, make sure you support an independent media. Bust a buck. Try your luck. It really is one of the more beneficial things you could possibly do with your time, your energy, your resources, is to put it towards independent media that continues to try to bring you the truth, continues to try to call out the bullshit again. What's up, buddy? I'm on the show. I know. You want to come say hi? Did Mom say that's okay? No. Well, I don't know. I can't go on the camera. Oh, you can't go on the camera? All right. Well, everybody, Logan says hello. Logan says hello. You're gonna have to trust me that he's here. We're still trying to get this whole on camera, off camera thing down. Come here. Come on. Careful, 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 careful. Don't knock over the light. Quick appearance from the star. Quick appearance from the star. All right, I'll let you guys go. I don't know why it says Trump. Oh, it's not responding. That's why. All right, I'll let you guys go. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Boston Brian. Get out of your seats. Get into the streets. Find your nearest protest. Find your nearest rally. Right? Get out there. Get out of your seats. Get out of your sheets and into the streets. Logan's jumping like a madman in front of me. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow night on the show. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Keep fighting. I don't know if I can do anything. I think my entire thing is frozen. So I don't know if I'm still on or if I'm not on, but I can't do anything. It says not responding. Help! What do I do?
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on. What do I do?
You seriously need to try and find an editor. somebody that knows how to do this stuff.
Well, this has never happened before.
You don't even know how to end the stream.
My computer's not working. What the fuck? Oh no. Am I still on? Oh, can you ask Mom?
I just went and did. Wait, are you still on? I don't know.
I don't know why it's not working. I don't get it. Why would that happen?
Where's the camera?
Right here.
Oh.
But that's not my issue right now.
That's my issue.
All right, why don't you hop over there just in case if